Alrighty. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, nice little move, right? Let me get some of this stuff up. Nice move yesterday. Off the back of some great earnings from a few names. Right? Google, AMD, good numbers. Google, incredible numbers. Just wild. Google is back above all-time highs, and actually quite a bit above it, which is just wild. Congratulations to anyone that played Google. I mean, the 3,000 calls yesterday were... The 3,000 calls yesterday on Google, I think they were $5. $5 I think they were at. Which is, let me scroll down here. There's a lot of strike prices on Google here. The 3,000 calls yesterday were, like $6. And if we just look at, let's say, like what was in the money before close yesterday, $27.50. I mean, these are going to be worth probably over 10 grand today, I would assume. Pretty close to that. So that's $600 into 10 grand. It's probably going to be more. So congratulations. Congratulations anyone that played that. That's huge. So Google's huge. AMD was nice. Nvidia moved up with AMD. As you guys know, I took Nvidia calls on on Monday. Looking for that continuation with AMD, so that's going to be really nice. This morning, I'm going to probably take profits on those today. Those should be up a few 100% I would assume. And we just have a nice little continuation across the board. So, why is this happening, right? You got to watch my video yesterday, first of all. You guys have to watch my video yesterday. If you have not watched my video, I think you should, to get a better understanding of why this market has gotten some short-term upside. It seems to me like it's a pretty good technical bounce. I wouldn't say it's so much of like a... I would say it's more of a technical bounce right now. We got a big breakout, a very important level across the market on the ES, on the Nasdaq. We broke that upside resistance and we got a little bit of a push because I think you just got a little bit of a squeeze. Because when you see a clear resistance break, there's going to be a lot of people that try to catch that short-term upside. So, is this hold? The reason why I'm a little bit more confident in maybe it holding is because of some of the earnings plays. Google at all-time highs should help. AMD pushing higher off earnings should help. So it's solid, right? If we pushed higher yesterday and Google and AMD came out with crap earnings, then it probably puts us right back to where we were, right back to the downside. So these earnings are definitely giving me some confidence that we could at least hold. But we'll see, guys. It's not really a matter of, does this continue to all-time highs? Last week was a fantastic opportunity. Everything lined up for upside. I took it. Congratulations to anyone that took it, that read the technicals, that focused on what was showing there on the market. And that's really all we can do for this week. Coming into next week, we're just going to have to do the same thing. Read the technicals, read the price action, and if it comes back down, it comes back down. But there's going to be a point, as we always talk about on this channel, where bad news is priced in, rate hikes are priced in, inflation is sort of understood, tapering is understood. The market's not going to just fall forever off of news that's known, right? If the Fed comes out and says rate hikes are faster and larger, inflation is coming off quicker, inflation is increasing and tapering is increasing as well, then yeah, that probably causes some panic. And probably more downside. But guys, the market prices in future events. You have to understand that. That is what the market does. The market is not pricing in what happens today. It is pricing in what happens many years in the future. So, when a market corrects, the Nasdaq corrected almost 20%. So that's pretty big. I mean, a 20% drop on the Nasdaq is a big correction. So is that all we needed to see? I don't know. Maybe. We fell about 17% on the Nasdaq. So You have the Nasdaq, the larger index down 17%. You have some stocks that are down 50%. You have Shopify down 50, PayPal's down like 60. So you have a lot of stocks that really did correct. So I don't want to totally count out that this market could recover, but you also can't totally count out the fact that we could come back down. So we'll talk about all this in today's video, guys. We'll talk about, what the market's doing. What are we seeing pre-market? Can we see more upside? But there's always a possibility of both sides. However, I'm someone that's an opportunistic person. I'm opportunistic. I'm not bearish. I'm not bullish. When I see opportunity, I take it. And last week, opportunity presented itself to the upside. If opportunity presents itself to the downside, I'll do the same thing. So that's where you got to be in this market, right? You got to be an opportunistic person and read what the charts are showing you. You don't not buy upside because you're worried about rate hikes, and you don't not buy upside because you're worried about inflation. That's just those are not reasons to not watch the charts, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Futures, as always, Nasdaq, S&P, Dow, Russell. We'll look at all of them, get an idea of what this market's doing. Economic and earnings calendars. Today we have Facebook and Qualcomm. Those are the two big ones today. After hours, Facebook, Qualcomm. Those could move, say, Snapchat. Those can move Twitter. What they say on. I don't play earnings. I didn't play any earnings. If someone said that in the chat. Brandy, I did not play earnings. I was looking for a continuation move on a stock that was potentially correlated to an earnings play. I don't play the actual earnings. No, I did not do that. Economic and earnings calendar, we have earnings on Qualcomm, Facebook. Economic calendar, we have ADP employment report this morning at 8:15, and home ownership rates at 10 a.m. So nothing huge, but there's going to be some more stuff this week, right? So today is Wednesday, right? The second ADP employment, that's going to be important. Then Thursday, we got our normal initial jobless claims. And then we have Friday non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, 1-800-Flowers, and Planet Fitness. Those are my two plays today. Happy birthday, CETA. Bing bong. Happy birthday, sir. So that's the earnings. Economic calendar. Google all-time highs, incredible. Nvidia sympathy play. That's one of the plays I've taken. Nvidia sympathy play. And that was with money I'm okay to lose. So a lot of people out there, they take earnings plays that have huge implied moves with money that they really can't afford to lose. That's what I preach. I never want people to understand that this is a real trading strategy. You don't just buy earnings calls because you think it goes up. The only time you would ever do that is if you really just don't care about, say, $100 or $200, and you just let it go. But if your portfolio is not huge, if that's more than 1%, you should absolutely not be taking those plays. That is just something. I put $300 in Nvidia. One, because I think Nvidia was too sold off, and two, because I felt AMD could help that move higher because of their earnings. So that was a fantastic play. Very happy about that one. Facebook technicals, we'll look at that as they report earnings later today. Qualcomm, big bounce back yesterday. I think AMD and Nvidia are also helping Qualcomm higher as well. As you guys know, they're all in the chip space. Netflix, I think I know what's going on in Netflix. I'm not sure if I'm right, but in my opinion, why do you keep asking if you did puts on Google stock split out of the money? What are you talking about? You lose money. The stock went up. So Netflix, I think what's happening is this is just, I think you're seeing the purchases of Bill Ackman as these 2 days go on. I think that's why the stock is just slowly ticking higher, because when you take a 3.1 million share stake position, you can't buy all those shares at one time, guys. Their firm, their hedge, whatever you want to call them, they can't just put in an order for 3 million shares. It has to go through at intervals over a pretty long period of time. So that is why you got that. That's why you're seeing. I think that's why you're seeing that sort of slow grind higher thing. It's just their shares keep on pushing in, and you're just getting that price slowly increasing. I believe that's what's occurring, and that's why you've seen such a steady grind over the last 2 days. I'm not sure if I'm right, but you can. That's my assumption. So I could be wrong there. I'm just throwing it out there. So that's crazy. Netflix just continues. Microsoft is definitely lagging this move. I want to talk about Microsoft. It's not moving as much as I thought it would on this move back higher. Tesla 960 and FinTech. FinTech is dead. FinTech is dead, man. I don't know what's going on, but PayPal had terrible earnings. You think he already bought, Nor? Yeah, I mean, maybe. But the price action that I'm seeing, just seems like someone's just slowly buying in. But I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong. It just seems like this price action is just continuous buying. I mean, there's really no way to tell, is there? It just seems like the price action that we've seen is just a very consistent, sort of buy-in of a lot of shares, little by little. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just forget what I just said. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just talking out loud here. I wish I could see exactly when they bought, unless you guys have a source of when they bought. If you could see a source, let me know. FinTech, PayPal, Square, just not good, guys. It's just a sector that I really don't have any interest in anymore right now. It's getting really beat down. PayPal's still dropping here in the pre-market. So just really ugly stuff. So that's our schedule today. Let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, let's bring up the earnings calendar real quick for you guys to see. Here it is. What if, again, Broad Delta, asked this question how many times? What if you did puts on Google stock split out of the money? You would lose your money. It's gone. Your money's gone. It's at zero. You have no money left. So today, this morning, AbbVie reported DR Horton, Waste Management, and then today after hours, Meta, Facebook. I'm always going to call it Facebook. Qualcomm, Spotify, that's after hours today. And then Thursday, you have Nokia, Penn National, Merck, Lilly, Honeywell, Cigna. Amazon, that's Thursday. That's pretty important. Snapchat, Pinterest, Activision, Unity Software, that's another big day. So, big stuff. So there it is. All right, let's get started. Nasdaq. That earnings calendar is in the chat, but you can also get that at Earnings Whisper. All right, guys. So here's the Nasdaq, and we see what happened, right? We all see what happened here. We bounced off this level, big key level back from April, back from February of last year. Perfect hold, absolutely perfect hold. You guys watched my video yesterday, I hope. Why did we bounce out of this? And you can see, if we go to the 4-hour, just look at this beautiful little hold. Look at this hold here, guys. This was everything, right? We talked about this on Monday stream. We talked about this on Friday stream, on Thursday stream. This was everything right here. This gave away the opportunity right there. So beautiful hold, nice little week-long hold. This was an entire week that we held this level. Broke out of it on Monday, and there's your continuation. So very nice. What's next, right? What's next? That's over. What's next? So in my opinion, you got to look at the ES for this what's next situation. Now, why do I say that? Because the ES The ES is at resistance right now, guys. And I'm a little bit concerned that today is probably, they already accumulated. It would not announce your stake until they had purchased. Okay. That's good to know, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm right on that, so I'm probably wrong. But it just seems like the price action has been very interesting. Yeah, 8:15, we got that data. I'll bring it up in a second. I just want to go over these futures real quick for you guys. So we can see the ES is sort of at resistance, sort of getting above it this morning, but this is an interesting level to me, this 45.50. We can see this is previous resistance here that turned into support, and I'm thinking, you find some resistance here. Now, you are above that here in the pre-market, so that's very interesting. We're already getting through it. This was a level last night that we didn't get through quite yet. This was a level that I was watching for resistance. And it seems like you're getting through it a little bit now. I wouldn't say you're fully through it, but you can definitely see the importance of this 45.50 area on the ES. So I was thinking there could be some resistance in this area because this is a previous resistance, support, and I thought maybe, hey, this might be where we slow down a little bit because this is a pretty big move. Maybe we slow down here around 45.50. As of right now, it looks like we're through it. So if you are bullish here on the ES, what you want to see is a retest of this level here. So you can see we did climb above that level today. We actually retested it already in the pre-market. Look at this. So we climbed above that level here. You definitely just want to see this level hold today, right? If you drop back below 45.50 today on the ES, then you're probably going to slip a little bit because this is a pretty important level. You guys can see it right here, right? This green box, resistance, support. And if we look at that green box on a shorter term time frame, you can see it right here. So we did get above it, which is pretty bullish, but we need to hold above that. If we do not hold above this, then I would say you're probably in for a little bit of a dip. So 45.50 is the big level for me today. Want to see that hold. If that does not hold, then you probably get some downside. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with seeing some downside here, guys. This is a very big move, and you have to expect that we're going to do some, we're going to make some higher lows. I would not expect this market just to go straight up. So 45.50 is a level I'm definitely watching today. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. So there's quite a bit of resistance above, right? You got this previous support turning into resistance. So that's 4,600 on the dot right there. 4,600 to the upside. Yeah, I know payrolls are out. I'll look at it in a second. Next high was 46.65. That's right here. And then the next high was 47.30, and that is right here. So I'm just watching those pivot highs as resistance. You guys can see it. 4,600, 46.65, and 47.30. Those are your next levels on the ES. A support hold at 45.50 would be massive. If you actually do get that today, then I would say there's more upside. Yeah, so let's see. Payroll numbers. Here it is. I'll pull it up for you guys. ADP employment report. Companies unexpectedly cut 301,000 jobs in January as Omicron slams job market. So this is what the Fed, I guess, I don't know if you want to say doesn't want, but what the Fed's waiting for is full employment, right? So this is against the full employment thing, right? So less jobs. You can see estimate was $200,000 gain. We lost 300,000. So numbers are way off. What's the market reaction to that? Not much of anything. Not much of anything as of now. 8:15 was when the report came out. So we'll see if there's any big reaction to this. But I want to continue to go through this live stream. I'm not going to just stick on this reaction. Just know that jobs came in as a cut of 300,000 versus a gain of 200,000. So that's a very big difference. Now, that was the ES, right? And we were sitting at that potential resistance. On the Nasdaq, 15,006. 15,006, exactly. Less jobs mean they don't have to less jobs means they are maybe further away from comfortable that they feel like they have to raise rates. So technically, a bad job report is good for the market. And it goes back to that whole backwards sort of, we're fighting against the Fed sort of thing. Back then, if bad news came out, the market would move higher when we were in the heat of the virus, because that means that more stimulus should come, which helps the market. So a bad jobs report is actually a thing that brings us maybe further away from interest rate hikes. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not so worried about that right now. I'm just focusing on what's going on here on the charts, how I can make money on the charts, how I can take advantage of opportunities. All the rest of the stuff, I'm not too worried about. Jim Cramer actually had a very good tweet. Now, I know some of you guys probably don't like him, Jimmy Chill. I really liked one of his tweets that he put out. It said, if I can find it, I might have deleted it, but it said, let me pull it up. And I really do agree with what he says here. Let's see if I can find it real quick, guys. He does tweet a lot, so might not be able to find it. Here it is. So he says, are we trading the Fed or are we investing in companies? Right? Are we trading the Fed or are we investing in companies? Let that sink in for a second. I like that tweet a lot. What does he mean by this? Are we just going to sit here and trade stocks around what the Fed say, or are we going to invest in quality companies that we believe will succeed in the long term? So the market has gotten into a situation where you're basically just trading these stocks around what the Fed is talking about. And it's really quite annoying to me. And I'm sure that's sort of what he's talking about. Are we investing in companies because they're, good companies, or are we trading the Fed? So I think, he was really wrong about Netflix, right? Didn't he say to buy Netflix the day before earnings? I like that. I like that quote. I think it's really good, and that's why I like, that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm getting tired of trading around this Fed. I'm just looking at what the price action's doing. So that's it. Nasdaq, looking for, that push into 15.6. You guys can see right here, right into that 15.6. That's where I think the Nasdaq will definitely fail. I would be surprised to see the Nasdaq, if it does push higher, I would be very surprised to see the Nasdaq push into 15.6, right? You guys can see previous resistance, support. That should turn into resistance here, guys, right in this area. So if we push higher, watch out for that 15.6. We're not going to get there today unless the Nasdaq has a 400-point day, which I very much doubt. If there's any downside today, I think it has to be today. If there's any downside this week, I think you might get it today. There's got to be some kind of, pullback at some point. So, this was a pretty massive move. There's got to be some kind of slippage here. So maybe 15,185, 15,160 today. If you drop below that, maybe yesterday's closing price, which is all the way down here. There's nothing wrong with coming down to yesterday's closing price. Remember that, right? Remember that, guys. If you come down to yesterday's closing price, there's still nothing wrong about that. So we have even this far to drop today to come down to previous closing price. So don't be scared of the downside today if you do see it, because this is a ridiculous move that we've seen here from last night. Obviously, congratulations to anyone that has calls, that you probably should consider taking profits near open if you start to see weakness. I have to come into today and understand that there could be downside. I have to, because this is big, right? This is a big move. So that's how I'm coming in today. I'm looking for, do we weaken? Do we come back down to some levels? Do we come down to, let's say, 15,160, 15,185, or do we want to come down and fill? Do we come down to previous day close, which is pretty far down there, right? There's nothing saying we have to come down there, but even if we do, you are still green day over day, even if you drop down here. So that's what I'm watching on the Nasdaq, guys. The YM, the Dow, we are pushing into a pretty tough resistance level as well. You guys can see that right here. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. So here's the 4-hour. You can see right here, 35,400, right into this resistance right here, 35,400. So I'm watching that 35,400 on the Dow, 35,400. That is a previous resistance point that I am looking at right here. You guys can see it right around this area. Do we reject off that area? Now the Dow did exactly the same thing. Little consolidation for an entire week, break out of the upside resistance, and a continuation move to the upside. So what's next? Do we reject? Do we make a higher low? And then do we continue once again? Very possible. Or do we push right through? So that is what I'm watching today. I'm looking for that 35,400 on the Dow. Let's see how that reacts to that resistance level today. If you get through that and you hold above it, very bullish still, guys. If you get above it, you hold above it, still very, very bullish. So watching that 35,400 there on the Dow Jones today. And just, to really quickly recap for you guys, what needs to happen for us to stay bullish? If you didn't watch my video yesterday, what needs to happen for us to stay bullish? On the Dow, it needs to hold above 34,700 right here, right? On the ES, we need to hold above 44,000 or 4,440, right? We need to hold above all of these resistant highs. We need to hold above this level right here. You can see this channel. If we hold this channel, I still consider this bullish because this is a higher low. So on the Dow, it's 34,700. On the ES, it's this one right here, 40. Let's turn these yellow. Let's turn those yellow just to make it really apparent. This is the key support. No matter how much we come down, it's still bullish as long as we hold this area, in my opinion. Nasdaq, it's 14,540 right here. This is a little bit too, I need to turn that a little transparent there. Right there. So those are your three levels, right? They all need to hold these previous highs. 14,540, 4,440, and 34,700. If we hold all those levels, then I think this market stays bullish because that is making a new higher low. So that's it. That's all. That's what I'm looking for the rest of this week, the rest of this month, no matter how long it takes. If we do come back to that level, that is what will be on my watch. All right. That's the futures. Let's quickly a Russell because you guys get mad when I don't look at the Russell. Russell actually got through resistance, which is pretty massive. Look at this. So today, the Russell needs to hold above this. The Russell needs to hold above 2,040. That's what you're looking for today on the Russell, guys. You need to hold above this 2,040. You can see you already got a little support bounce off it this morning. You need to hold above this 2,040 level on the Russell. On the IWM, that is, if you guys use the IWM, on the IWM, that is right around this 202.4. So it's 2,040, same thing as 202.4, 202 and 40 cents, right around that area. So that's what I'd be watching, guys. All right, that's the futures. Let's go Google. Let's go to Google. So previous all-time high on Google was 3,037. 3,037 was the previous all-time high on Google. If we go to the daily chart, we can see sort of a similar move to Microsoft, where it held a previous level. You can see right here. Look at this. See how Microsoft held this level? Very similar move on Google. We did slip underneath, but quickly recovered. You can see right here. Nice little 2,670 level hold. And then obviously today, if we bring in the after hours, you guys can see what happened on earnings. So crazy. Am I gonna buy this thing at open and just just run with it? Probably not. I'll look for maybe a pullback if I even want to play it. Maybe to these previous highs here around, maybe even like around the 3,000 level. Maybe a 3,000 psychological pullback. That's about 20, 30 points from where we are now. I'll probably watch that 3,000 level, and then I'll watch these highs here around 29.75. I want to see a pullback here if I am going to play it. I'm not going to just chase this thing through highs, but just monster numbers, guys, will obviously help this market higher. Congratulations to anyone that took it. That's really all I could say. Just insane. Big move. Totally beat expected move. Call options are going to be up thousands of percents this morning. So if you have one, you're going to be a very happy person today. So I'd look for maybe a pullback to 3,000, 29.75. If you start to see it, sort of hold some support, maybe it starts to do something like this, and you start to see that push higher, higher low, higher high, then you start to play it off that, right? So very nice. Yeah, I mean, they got the 20-to-1 stock split. That could make the stock run as well. We've seen what happens when stock splits come out on companies. The stocks usually run pretty hard. So, I would not, I would definitely look for this today. Yeah, I wouldn't just buy puts, out at the open because you think it has to go lower, guys. That's not, Mr. Pants, do that if it's showing you that. Do that if it's showing you that. If it's showing you that, if it's doing something like this, and making lower lows and lower highs, then, then you play it. But don't just buy puts at open because you're like, oh, this is up too much. That's not a strategy. Just letting you know. I'm sure you know that already, but I'm just saying it, for people that are thinking about that. Yeah, the split's far away, but we've seen that psychological. You guys remember when Nvidia announced their split? I don't think it was as far out as Google's was, but there was definitely upside. There was a little bit of momentum because of the split announcement. So even though it does nothing to the company fundamentally, it's just some type of. Oh, my pants are. I thought Mr. Pants. It's my pants are oh so fancy, not Mr. Pants. We know that splits cause the stock to sometimes go higher, even though it does nothing psychological. So that's Google. Sorry, my pants. Sorry about that, man. I like Mr. Pants better. All right, Nvidia. Why is Nvidia up so much here in the after hours in pre-market? Well, it is because AMD reported good earnings, and this is a sympathy play. So took these on Monday, and congratulations anyone that got into it with me. These should be up very nicely today. I will probably be taking profits near open unless I see something very strong right out of open. I'll probably be taking these profits. So big move here on Nvidia. Nvidia is just a very nice sympathy play off AMD. That's the great thing about sympathy plays. You don't have to worry about so much of the implied move on earnings, and you can play a move like this. So very nice. Nvidia's up to around 260, which is my resistance level. This is a resistance level that I have been watching. So I am concerned about Nvidia here. I think it definitely has reached a point where we could start to reject. You can see right here, right on Nvidia, 260, right in this area. You can see resistance or support, resistance. Support, resistance, and potential resistance again. So maybe Nvidia has a little bit of pullback from here. Hey, if you got $100 to lose, it's up to you, man. If you got $100 to throw out there, if you were gonna go spend $100 on dinner tonight, and you want to not, maybe you don't feel like going to dinner with your girl or your guy, maybe throw it on some Amazon earnings. I'm not saying that's a strategy. That is total gambling. That's not something I would do more than 1% of your portfolio. It's just not something you guys should get used to doing. I will do it, maybe once or twice a year if I really believe strongly in a company and I think there's a good opportunity, but it's not something, I'm not, I play maybe, so far this year I've played Netflix with a $60, $30. Yeah, so Netflix, I bought a $28 call on Netflix, so I spent a total of $28. That was my total risk, and I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. That's the only YOLO I've taken this quarter. So $28 I put on risk on Netflix. It worked out. It went up 900%. What was it? 600? I forgot the percentage. It went up a lot. So Yeah, oh, it was 3,000%. It was $900 gain. That's what it was. So you have the opportunity to get big percentage point gains, but the chance of working is like 0 to none. So just understand that. Nvidia 260. Watching that. If that rejects today, then I would look for pullbacks. Maybe back down to this 240. Right. These levels are so clean with the market because remember the Nasdaq, guys. Right. Remember this Nasdaq. See this level, this yellow level, 14,540. It's the same exact thing on Nvidia. It's the same exact thing right here, right? You guys can see this level on Nvidia, 240. It's the same exact thing on Nvidia right there. It needs to hold up above 240 to stay bullish. That is what you have to watch. So Nvidia 260, watch for resistance today. If that gets a push through, I think you're coming up to the 270s, and then you're coming up to around the 285s. Those are your next two levels. Yeah, you can play a strangle. Well, I don't. Yeah, it's a good question, Dan. That's partially my fault. It's partially my fault. I don't know. I think it's the stock price that sort of deters me. But yeah, you're right. I am definitely upset that I don't buy Google as much as I buy Apple, because Google is probably just as good as Apple. I mean, look at their numbers. So yeah, I definitely, that is something that I have regretted, in the past 6 months, past year, not buying more Google shares because they're just as good as any other name. So yeah, congrats on Google, guys. I definitely missed out on a good part of that. So it is what it is. I can't go back. Facebook, just really choppy, which I'm not really liking. So I haven't played Facebook for a long time. I just don't like the chop. I don't really like this chop that we are sitting in. So I'm really just waiting to see when does this want to break out of this chop. That's really what I'm waiting for. I really, in my personal opinion, I just want to be patient for this. I just want to wait for this 350 break. That's really what I want to see. I want to see this 350 break because I know that if Facebook breaks 350, if Facebook breaks 350, 353, 355, right up here, you guys know this thing is going to move. Meta. So that is going to be probably where I am comfortable to play this. If it starts to get, if it starts to get a little bit of momentum over this 353, 354, maybe earnings is what pushes it over that. Maybe they come out with great earnings. The reason Facebook or Meta moved higher last night off Google earnings is because of ad spend. Ad revenue. That is a good precursor into what Facebook should say about their earnings. So $16 is the expected move. That brings you up to around 336 if you close at the levels that we're at right now. So 336 would be what the expected move to the upside is on earnings, right around 5-6%. So if you push up to that 353, that's going to be big. But that is what I'm waiting for. I'm going to wait to see what happens post earnings and play the continuation. If it's bullish and we get that push through 353, that would be fantastic. So earnings today, be careful. Don't play it because you think you're right. If you play Facebook earnings, you have to understand that it's basically like putting money on your favorite colors on roulette. If you feel like hitting the casino, then go ahead. But that is not a trading strategy. So I'll see what happens. Qualcomm. I think Qualcomm is just setting up for something big because this stock just continues to hold. It's back above this very important resistance. You can see it is now clearly above that 173 here. It held this little gap level perfectly at 157. And what happened last earnings? Earnings are today, guys, right? So here you go. This is your quarter-to-quarter move on Qualcomm between here and here, right? This is 1 quarter of price action on Qualcomm. Earnings are today. You can see this was the last quarter, and this is today of this quarter. And look at what happened on the last quarter. Huge gap up, and what are we doing now? We're holding. Does Qualcomm back-to-back quarters cause a huge gap up on the chart? That would be something incredible. I don't know. I don't know what happens. I wish I did, but this is a strong hold of this stock. I mean, this stock has held this entire level for an entire quarter, been very resilient to the downside on this market, pushing back higher, back to 183 this morning, which is back up into here. So this stock is basically 3% off all-time highs. So, yeah, this thing's an animal. It really is an animal. I mean, it's held beautifully. So, I mean, if Qualcomm breaks this 190 area on earnings, it's going to be a big move. So, definitely interested in Qualcomm. Post earnings, this could be a fantastic continuation play. This will be a great trade post earnings. So, definitely watching this one. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm just excited to see what happens post earnings. That's the more fun for me, because then I already know the direction. I know the direction. I know where the strength is. Then I can play the continuation. So I'm hoping we see a strong move, and I'm hoping we see that push through 190. If we get that push through 190, this could be a very big move. I am going over PayPal last. You guys can see it on the end. FinTech dead. That's where we're going. Netflix. All right, Netflix. This is pretty crazy, guys. I definitely am very, very sad that I did not catch this Netflix move. And it was a pretty obvious move, and I'll show you where it became obvious. And I've talked about this in the chat and with you guys here. Just have trust issues on Netflix. I don't know why. I just can't get myself to trust a position in it. It's my own fault. But over 414, this was going up all day. You guys can see right here. This 414, you can see this previous resistance where we fell off. That's right, right after we broke out of that, guys, it was just upside from there. You can see it right here. 414, once that broke, no stopping, just straight upside. So, big gap. Yep, that was the gap breakout for sure. Big gap there on Netflix. Try to get a better view of it for you guys. Netflix could potentially move maybe into this 508, 510 area. If it really does have more strength. I would love to see a little pullback, honestly. Maybe to like the previous day close. Let's see. It'd be nice to see something. Maybe here to 443, or maybe even to like this 443, 433. That would be nice. Because that would get a lot of buyers to accumulate at these levels if you get something like this, right? It'd be nice to see something like this. So if we get that, excuse me, sorry, sneezing. If we get that, that would be nice. But I just feel I feel in danger chasing this every day. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh man, should I really get into this? I got that FOMO a little bit, but I also have enough self-control to say this is probably a little bit dangerous, even though in hindsight, anyone that chased this move made money, right? That's what happens sometimes. People that chase the move, sometimes they make money because the thing just did not stop. So, in my opinion, guys, obviously Netflix could continue. It dropped huge off earnings. You could move into this gap fill, which is up to around 508, 510. And maybe you get like 10% more upside if you fill that gap up to 508, 510. But yeah, beautiful gap breakout above 414. We're in the gap. Let's see what happens. Maybe watch this 20 SMA on the daily chart at around 480. So that's Netflix. Microsoft. Microsoft has been lagging this move, and it's a little bit weird. I don't know. It's just it's not as strong as I expected. But you did get this push off the lows around 280. We are starting to sort of slightly reject around this 305. We need to hold this 305. This 305 level, the Miami level, that needs to hold. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you can see what Microsoft did yesterday, which I am happy about. We can see the previous, what it did previously at this level. So let me zoom out a little bit. Let me get this for you. So look at 305, right? Look at what it did. This was Wednesday of last week. This was Thursday of last week. This was Friday of last week. and this is Monday, and this is Tuesday. Now, what do you guys realize about this chart, right? What do you realize about this chart here? You can clearly see that you have previous resistance turning into support. If that holds true, then I am comfortable to see if Microsoft can continue, because that is beautiful. I mean, that's what you want to see. Resistance, 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 support, support. There is nothing more important than that. No EMA, no MACD, no RSI, no TTM squeeze, no VWAP oscillator, momentum, BS, nothing besides this. So resistance, resistance, support, support. That is massive. So I want to trust it. I want to see if it continues. If it does, I like it. I have swings. You guys know I have April Microsofts. Perfect. Just want to see that continue. If that continues, very happy. So keep an eye on that on Microsoft, guys, today. You need to hold above 305. If you drop back below 305, it's probably going to, die out. You need to hold this 305. Very, very important. And you need to get a push off of it. So watch that today. Microsoft, what's next? Tesla. Well, we got 1,100 people in here. Thank you guys for being here. Just want a quick shout out to everyone here. If you guys could press the like button, that'd be fantastic. Just one like. Tesla. All right. What is Tesla doing? And where is Tesla going to find resistance? I am a little bit cautious of Tesla recently. There's a lot of resistance above. A lot. 960 and 1,000 look pretty tough. And I don't really want to mess around with these levels really too much. So just watch this up to 960, guys. You guys can see 960. That is a little bit dangerous to me. If we do get through 960, then you have 1,000, which also looks a little bit dangerous to me. So 960, 1,000 on Tesla are some big levels above. Big levels above. So watch that, right? 960 and 1,000 today, guys. If you start to see this trade into these levels and you're buying call options, please reconsider, right? These are the moments where you need to reconsider for just 1 second. If you got tunnel vision and you're just staring at the 1 minute chart or the 5 minute chart and you don't have this level on your chart, let's say it looks like this, right? Let's say it looks like this and you're trading up, Tesla's breaking out, and you're right here, right? This is what Tesla looks like, right? What if this is what Tesla looks like and you don't have 960 on your chart? And you say, hey, look at this. I'm buying a high day breakout. Hell yeah. I'm right. I'm buying calls on the high day breakout. Boom. Now, why did it drop? Right? Because first of all, you're not aware because you don't have the levels on your screen. And this is why you guys please have levels on your charts from longer term time frames. This is a very massive resistance point. And I need you guys to be aware of that. So have 960 on your charts. If your chart looked like this instead of the previous one, right? If your chart looked like this, then you would say, okay, hold on a second, right? This is a previous resistance point. Do I want to be buying calls at a high of day breakout on a resistance point? That is what you need to have because that could save you from a very nasty rejection. So please have that on your charts. 960 today. Watch out for that level. And then after that, $1,000 psychological. Very easy, right? Right up here. So those are your two levels. Keep those on your charts and make sure you're aware of them if you're trading Tesla today. Fintech is dead. It sure is, man. What's SoFi doing? SoFi been pretty dead. Yeah, SoFi is not doing much. Square not doing anything. PayPal earnings. Right when PayPal looked like it was starting to get a little momentum here off the lows, you get a big nasty candle down to 142. So wow, you really did come down here. Oh, are you filling that gap on the daily chart? Hold on a second. Are we actually just do that? Oh my God, we did. We're almost filling that gap on the daily chart. I remember talking about this gap, and I said, there's no way PayPal gets down to this level. Holy crap, man. PayPal's getting wrecked. So we're down to 142 here, right around here. There's a gap to fill at 130. It might get there. It might get there. This is a very bad drop on earnings, down $30 a share. That's really big. That's like 20%. Expected move was 13. It almost doubled the expected move to the downside. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. So you have this gap to fill that we've talked about on the stream before, but I didn't think it was even attainable to come down here, but it sure is. 140 to 130, you have this big gap on the daily that maybe this needs to come down and fill back to 130. So watch that today, guys. If you want to trade PayPal continuation, all you're looking for is previous lows, previous highs to turn into resistance. So all you're looking for is this. If you get this and you get the downside, what's the next level you need to see? You need to see it reject this level now, right? This is what you're looking for. Just downside, stair stepping. What's the next level? Right here. And you continue to trade it like this. If you see continuous downside, continue to look for previous highs as resistance, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Just keep looking for that if you want to play downside. And then just watch that gap, 140 to 130. Let's see what happens. All right, now I got to go over to what the members want to look at. If you guys could take 1 second, press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I do this every single day, Monday through Friday, as long as I'm not sick or if the market's closed and I'm not here. If you guys could take 1 second, press that like button, it would help out tremendously. Get these videos out to more people. All right, Visa, first one, Visa. Let's take a look at Visa. So Visa, very nice breakout above 220, right? Big breakout above 220. I'm just a little concerned about Visa recently. I don't know. It's not a big mover as of late. These payment processor names, I think this move is almost done, guys. I think if you didn't catch it back here when we were looking at this support, you're sort of chasing this move. So just be careful. Just be careful. You got to see at least this breakout here. This is a very big level. Look at this level here, around 236. This is previous resistance, previous resistance. Just be careful. This move is pretty extended. A stock like Visa doesn't just do this, guys. A stock like Visa just does not do that. So you're going to see some chop, some resistance. Watch out for the resistance up here at 236. That's what I would look for. Maybe look for a pullback, a nice little retest here. That would be the entry I'd look for. This retest right here. That's your entry. Not chasing this push. It might work out, but it's not a sustainable way to trade, guys. I don't want to see people take bad habits. That's not a way to trade. You don't just take that off there. GM. Earnings were, I guess, okay. The stock didn't really move. You are holding this support around 50, which is nice. You need to get through this 55, which is what you're rejecting right now in the pre-market. You need to get through this 55. If you get through this 55, maybe. But guys, just take 1 second before you trade a chart like this. Please take 1 second and just look at the daily chart. Please. Just look at the daily chart. Do you need to be trading a stock that's doing this? Not really. I mean, there could be opportunity, but I just, this is tough stuff. This is very tough to judge, where this goes. Look for the 55 break. Maybe it gets above that with some momentum. Upstart. I don't really like the stock recently. I know it's finding support here. This is like basically all-time lows almost on Upstart. Down here around, I guess you can't call it all-time lows, but it's pretty far down there. You can see previous low, finding some support. Nice little momentum push. I like it. But I think PayPal earnings might affect this. I think it might affect this whole fintech sort of space. So watch out for that. If you get above this level on Upstart, I think you get some momentum right around 130. Look for that 130 push. If you get through 130, you're making a higher high, right? Previous high, you need a higher high, guys. You need a higher high. So wait for that higher high to come in and then play it. Wait for the higher high. Don't just trade this because you're getting a little push. There's a previous resistance. There's a previous support. Turn into resistance. You need to get through it. That's at 130. UPS, big gap up on earnings, all-time highs. I think you just got to watch the shorter-term time frames for this. Yeah, it could be a good long-term buy if you like Upstart. I'm not saying it's a bad company. Just know that it's sort of in a troubled sector right now, and it's the risk-on mentality is sort of tough. So just be careful of that. Just understand what Upstart is in right now. UPS, you just want to see it hold this, and you want to see it hold here, and that could be more upside today. If you get that. If you get this hold of 230 or 226. Now, to the downside, I would look for these breaks, right? Look for the break here of 230. Look for the break here of 226. If you start to get that, then you probably move down pretty quickly because there's not much support in this area here. So if you start to break some of these previous support levels, then I would look for the downside there. Let's go out to the 30-minute. Yeah, I mean, if you break this 230 and this 226, then I would say you probably have pretty quick downside back to previous all-time highs, which was at 220.34, right in this area. It very well could come back, so watch out for that. Just look for this breakdown of 230 and 226. Real quick, AMD, just watch the continuation move, guys. You're at 132, which is right at resistance. It's right at resistance, guys. That's where AMD is sitting right now, right at resistance. So please be careful. You can see right here, support, resistance. It is sitting right at it. Very clean and a very potential downside move if you reject this level. So just be careful there, right at 132. Okay. Last one I want to show you is just Shop, because Shopify I still think is screaming opportunity. I think maybe Google earnings helps a little bit. Maybe if Amazon reports well, also Shopify could move higher. But at Shopify is 55% off the highs. I still think this is a pretty decent play here. I'll be watching it. Just wanted to bring it up. Before we get out of here, I want to just show you guys this new thing. Here we go. If you guys have any interest in the Options Insider, let's see, how am I doing this? Over there, Options Insider merch. If you're interested, check it out. options-insider.com/merch. And then if you want to check out the desk mat that I have, that's up on my top left. That is a very cool desk mat. That's also a Nasdaq or a trading theme type desk mat. Look at this. Look at all this around me. If you guys want to check that stuff out, optionsinsider.com/merch, and you can check out some of that cool merchandise, some trading stuff, if you are interested. There are no coupons, no. All right, that's it. Let me get that off the screen. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you have a fantastic trading day. I hope you stay calm today. I know you have, a lot of stuff going on, but let's look at the price action. Let's look at the charts. Let's make sure we don't get stuck in any traps. There could absolutely be some downside today, after a very big move. So just come in today unbiased, look for the price action. If you start to get some really nice pushes on the earnings continuation moves, I'm sure there will be some plays. So I'm watching Nvidia, I'm watching AMD, I'm watching Google, I'm watching Qualcomm. I'll definitely be watching, what else am I going to watch? Tesla, of course, Apple, Microsoft, all the good stuff. We're going to see if those continue today. If not, we'll flip our bias and we'll look for downside. So we're going to go trade in the Discord. If you guys want to join, first link down below. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Peace out.